ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Spider-Man 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review video. Now today, we are going to be taking a look at our first figure from the What If series. And yeah, I'm pretty darn excited to check out Zombie Hunter Spidey. Now I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button for more info on Justin's Collection Plus, the channel membership. As for the box art, this definitely sets the precedent of what to expect from the What If line going forward. On the side of the box, an image of Spidey, in the background a bunch of vignettes from the What If series. Then on the side of the box, Zombie Hunter Spidey, and all of the warnings and legal info are, as usual, printed on the back. On the inside, you do have an image of the figure himself, plus a sneak preview of what's inside. Now, the reason I picked this up is, yeah, I do like the design from What If, but also, for those of you who don't know, this is the suit that's being worn and used in all the promo material for the Disney theme parks, Disneyland and Disney World. This is the design for Spidey you're going to see, obviously without Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation. So even if you don't love the series, this suit is technically still MCU canon. What we are going to do now though is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Here we have all the parts and pieces. Now, starting off with the display base first, it's done in the usual hexagonal style. Around the front it says Zombie Hunter Spidey, still not sure why they're going with Spidey rather than Spider-Man. Up top, a Spidey logo done in a high gloss. What If on the other side, then I'm pretty sure this is the multiverse cracking and fracturing in the background. Up top we've got a dynamic flight pole and a spring-loaded waist clamp. Do be careful with these, they are rather sharp and the springs are super strong. They can tend to dig into your Spidey's outfit over time. We do get the usual suspects when it comes to Spidey's webs. We've got the funnel attachment that pegs onto these longer web strands. You also get the spooled up web, which is my personal favourite. You slot it between his fist and it looks like he's grabbed a bunch of his webbing. You also get this plate with a right angle web, some shorter ones and the longer ones. As I said, they're meant to go with this funnel piece. When it comes to Spidey's lenses, we do have quite a few options and you can mix and match between them. I like the way they're sculpted, they attach with magnets, super straightforward, and the paint applications are nice and shiny and metallic. Now, as for which ones we get, we've got the fully wide open ones, the slightly more squinted ones, and the fully squinted ones. But as I said, you can mix and match, so if you want to have it look like Spidey's winking, you can absolutely do that. Lastly, we do get the full array of Spidey hands, including closed fists, wall crawling, open palm hands, and thwipping. Now, with the thwip hands, if you do want to attach a web, you simply swap out the palm plate, and then it has this spooled up attachment that you slide the web into. It's a much more modern way of attaching webs to Spidey rather than trying to line them up with his web shooters. Now, unfortunately, the web lines are raised on the hands, whereas on the suit they are printed on. I am curious to see if all of these raised web lines are going to clash with the suit itself. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. This guy looks really good. The colors are very vibrant. I love the crisp detail work on the suit. It's definitely animated, but it could also pass as live action if you remove the cloak of levitation. Because, yes, it is removable. I do like the fully sculpted head sculpt for an MCU Spidey. Finally, no fabric over the sculpt itself, and it does blend in relatively seamlessly. There is a decent level of musculature, and the proportions with the cloak on something to remember for a little bit later, are really darn good. Now, it is a unique aesthetic, so you are going to have to decide where this guy is actually going to go in the display. Here we have him up close and personal, and while this guy isn't perfect, he's darn close. I love the way he looks. Starting off with the head sculpt, I think the shape is darn near perfect. It's not too big, it's not too small, there's some definition for his ears under the mask, and his eyes are magnetically interchangeable, as we discussed earlier. The only complaints I have is that the red is slightly darker as compared to his suit, and the web lines are raised and sculpted in versus the outfit where they are simply printed. I'm not sure why Hot Toys continues to do that, but yes, it's still an issue here for Zombie Hunter Spidey. The Cloak of Levitation is a fantastic material. It's really lightweight, you've got some printed detail on the surface, it looks like an animated version of Doctor Strange's cloak. You have the shoulder pad on one side and the little clasps around the front, but they're done in this very cartoony style with the thick black lines and the yellow rather than gold paint. You also have some wires for the collar, and wires along the outside edge and along the bottom. Plus, the inside is also fully printed. But if you don't want Spidey wearing the cloak, of course it is removable. This is exactly how I'm going to display him in my collection. The colour of the suit absolutely pops, the web lines are crisp and sharp because they're all printed onto the surface, you've got the big black Spidey logo on the front, the red one around the back, and some panel lines and tech detail. You also have some padded musculature, you can make out some detail on the side as well as the abs and the pecs. The only complaint I have is that the pecs are a little low and slightly too prominent for me. Now, in certain poses they are more obvious than others, but it is definitely something I noticed. You also have some bright shiny silver metallic web cartridges on the belt area, and the same thing can be said for the web shooters, they're a super shiny metallic silver. I really like the choice of blue here. It's not too stark, but it's also not too dark either. It suits the colour of red, they play off each other beautifully. There are more panel lines working your way down to the boots, and the boots themselves are almost entirely red, save for this black border around the top. On the underside, you don't have any treads, they are completely smooth. But if you are wondering what he looks like with some head swaps, you know what, this I actually really like. I didn't know if it was going to clash with the animated aesthetic, but it doesn't. This absolutely works. Now, if someone did make an animated Peter Parker head sculpt, yes, it would complement this body perfectly. But in the display, if you wanted to use this Tom Holland head sculpt, yeah, I think you could do a lot worse. This, to me, also kind of works. I'm starting to really like it. It's the PS4 classic suit with the Zombie Hunter head sculpt. It's now got the MCU style lenses. This is one step closer to having the iconic suit from the end of No Way Home. The only issue here is that the neck is slightly long, and there isn't any texture on the mask, where there is a lot of texture on the suit itself. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have Tech Suit, Zombie Hunter, and Classic Suit all standing together. And for some unknown reason, Zombie Hunter Spidey is huge. He towers over Tech Suit, and he's even taller than Classic Suit, who up until now was the tallest Spidey figure. I can't quite figure out why he's so tall. If you know, let me know down below. I get that he's an older version of Peter, but I didn't think he was going to be that much taller. In saying that, I do still love the suit. It feels like a blend of classic and tech suit merged together. Just going over articulation. Now bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I am willing to go. Now, starting off with the head sculpt, it is on a double ball peg, with the first half underneath the head sculpt and the other at the base of his neck. Looking forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there on very clicky ratchets. They will go forward and back butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down, swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow that does get you past 90, and of course, a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg. The torso will crunch forward on ratchets to there, going back to there, swivel, and pivot side to side. The legs do go forward on softer ratchets to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee that does get you way past 90, a double ball peg down here for the ankle, and of course, toe articulation. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing is technically not a big deal considering this is based on What If, but this figure was designed with the Cloak of Levitation in mind. So when you remove it, his proportions are a little funky. He doesn't have a ton of definition up here at the shoulders, and with the traps, it's a very sharp slope, and at certain angles in certain poses, it can look really unsightly without the cloak on. The second annoying thing is that there is a finish mismatch between the head sculpt and the rest of his body. It's slightly darker in tone, and the web lines are raised, compared to the rest of the outfit where they're much more smooth and the red is a little bit more vibrant. The third annoying thing has to do with the musculature. I like the definition for the abs, it looks really good, but the pecs sit rather low and they are quite prominent. From certain angles it's definitely more obvious than others and it's not a deal breaker, but it is definitely something that I've noticed. The first cool thing is that finally we have a Spidey without the weird, annoying bunching at the ankles. I don't know if they've just added a ton of padding here, but either way, it looks really nice and smooth. The second cool thing is that if you don't care for What If, you can simply remove the cloak entirely. I remember when this guy went up for pre-order, people were freaking out thinking the cape was permanently attached. But oh no, you can take the cape on and off, it's super simple, it's simply attached with magnets. The third cool thing is the cloak itself. I love the material, I love the detail that's printed on the surface, it's super lightweight and it's fully wired. Meaning if you do want to display Spidey wearing the cloak, yeah, it's really nice to work with. Wrapping up on the Hot Toys Zombie Hunter Spidey based off his appearance in Marvel's What If. Going into this, yeah, super excited, how could I not be? I love Spidey, and this is a very different and visually striking version of him in 1/6 scale. I will readily admit though, this isn't going to be for everyone. He's really tall, his pecs are really defined, when you remove the cloak he doesn't really have the best proportions in the world, and there is a colour and texture mismatch between the mask and the rest of his body. Plus, to be accurate to the episode that he's based off, he should really come with an unmasked Peter Parker head sculpt, and for the life of me I can't really figure out why he doesn't. It's not like there are likeness rights to an animated version of Peter Parker. Hot Toys could have very easily done that, but they decided, no, we're not going to do that at all. It's still a really good figure, but it could have been even better with the inclusion of that head sculpt, because he doesn't really have a ton of accessories. He does have the usual webs and the Cloak of Levitation, which is a really nice fabric, great print, awesome wires, but it doesn't really suit Spidey if you're not picking this up for a What If specific display. For me, he's going with my other Spidey figures, and I think he's going to look awesome there. This, as we discussed earlier, is technically the Disney Parks suit, so it is MCU canon. I like the bright silver web shooters, I like the more vibrant color scheme, and yes, even the panel lines, which some people really don't like. Now, he's not perfect, but he definitely is one of my new favorite Spidey figures. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button for more info on Justin's Collection Plus if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.